Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel off the underside. If you enjoy your Scottish football, your English football and everything else comes with it, then please subscribe to the channel. If you don't mind, we make loads of content like this where we are going to review these matches coming up this weekend. We also get interviews and everything else. We do our daily podcasts, we do our weekly podcasts, everything else, okay? So anyway, I want to get into these matches coming up this weekend in the Scottish Cup. Tonight, it was a fantastic result for Falkirk. They beat Dundee United 2-1 at home to reach the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup. It's been a brilliant year for Falkirk. In my opinion, they will finish top six, and now they've got a brilliant Scottish Cup run under their belt where they're getting to semi-finals at Hampden. You know what I mean? You can't ask for much more in your first season back into the top flight for Falkirk. So very good to them, very well done. You know, John McGlynn and all the guys have done a brilliant job with Falkirk over the years, getting them up through the divisions, and now they're thriving in the top flight. And you know, if they continue to be like this, then they'll only get better and better as seasons go on. So really impressed with Falkirk. But aye, you know, 2-1 in the semi-finals, and now we're looking at the matches coming ahead this weekend. Dunfermline against Aberdeen tomorrow. I'm so excited about this match at 7:30 tomorrow night. It's going to be a hell of a match in my opinion. Dunfermline are in decent form. They're fourth in the Scottish Championship. They're only 6 points behind Arbroath, so there's a possibility they may catch them up, hopefully. You know, Neil Lennon's doing a brilliant job at the club, as Neil Lennon does. You know, he's just a very, very good manager at this level. And I think that they're going to cause Aberdeen a lot of problems. I watched the Celtic and Aberdeen game the other night, and I thought Aberdeen were really, really bad. I thought Celtic allowed Aberdeen to come back into the match in the first half, and you know, there was no need to give away the penalty. It was a silly penalty for Celtic to give away, but throughout the 90 minutes Aberdeen were really, really poor. They never offered enough, they never created enough chances, there wasn't enough dig in the middle of the park or in the back. If it was a kind of more clinical Celtic team, it could have been more than 2-1, and it should have been more, to be honest. Celtic had the lion's share of chances and possession and stuff, so I was expecting a wee bit more from that match from Celtic, but because Aberdeen were really, really bad, and this is going to be a tough game for them going to East End Park tomorrow night. You know what I mean? It's when they're low in confidence like this, they're not performing in the league. They've not got a full-time manager, and it's still Peter leaving at the moment. I don't believe the new manager has been announced yet, so I mean, it's still a kind of precarious position that Aberdeen are in at the moment. It's such a contrast from last season where they started off the league so well, and you know, people were tipping them to continue that and do a Hearts this season and kind of continue it throughout the season, but Aberdeen fell away, unlike Hearts this season. But that's a completely different topic. Hearts have been brilliant, but this match tomorrow, I mean, I really do believe that the Mark Dunfermline have got a right good chance. Callum Morrison scoring goals. He's really, really good player, to be honest. You know, like I say, it's I think that he'll create a lot of chances. Aberdeen defence are pretty low in confidence at the moment. You would think that Dunfermline will take it to Aberdeen and have a go, especially at home, under the lights at East End Park on a Saturday night. You know, it's like built for a cup upset, isn't it? I'd be surprised if Aberdeen went there and kind of battered Dunfermline, to be honest. I don't think that, even though they're the level above, I don't think that that's what the two teams are showing at the minute. And I do believe that Dunfermline will win the match. I'm actually going to go for 2-1 Dunfermline to cause the first upset of the weekend. But it's exciting, you know. This is a great chance for all these clubs to get to Hampden and, you know, have a day out for their supporters and stuff like that, just like Falkirk have done. So it's a big opportunity for Dunfermline as well. It'd be really good if Falkirk got Dunfermline in the semi-final. That would be really exciting, or even in the final. I doubt that both of them will get to the final if that happens, but I mean, I think it'd be good to see they two in the semi-final. But then on Sunday, Celtic travel to Ibrox once again to play Rangers, just like last Sunday afternoon. It's a 1 o'clock kick-off for this match. It was 12 o'clock last week. Celtic didn't wake up to it 1 o'clock last week, to be honest, right enough. So maybe that's a good thing for them. But I mean, going on last week's match, Rangers started off the game brilliantly and they dominated the first half, scored an amazing goal through Youssef Chermiti, and another kind of nice goal from him as well. Sloppy defending from Celtic, but Rangers absolutely dominated the first half. Celtic dominated the second half, which was very, very surprising. Martin O'Neill brought on Rio Hatate at half time, and he brought on Tenecti at half time, and they kind of changed the game. And Celtic dominated, like I say, and they got a couple of goals in the second half through Kieran Tierney, and then Rio Hatate scored a penalty in the last minute. So Celtic then go to Pittodrie during the week, like I say, and win the match. So maybe Celtic will be a bit more confident for this game. Rangers haven't played since then. But there might be a lot of learning to do from Rangers for that last week's performance in the second half. So maybe they will be a wee bit more alert to not let that happen again. So we'll see. It's a very interesting game to see what happens. Celtic are going to get the full Broomland Road stand once again, which is really refreshing to see that Celtic and Rangers are actually coming to a wee bit of terms with us, that even though it's a cup game, that, you know, all the fans need to be in, you know, as many away fans as possible, because it makes the atmosphere better. There's no point in trying to be stubborn and tit for tat nonsense that's been happening in the league for years now, and, you know, something's got to give, and it'll be refreshing to see an away team get a full allocation once again. It shouldn't have to come down to the Cups games, like I say, but that is what it is at the moment. So I don't know if that will give Celtic a wee bit of extra spur to see more of their fans in the stadium on Sunday. Time will tell. It'll be interesting to see the teams. It'll be interesting to see if Celtic go with the same team that basically finished the second half on Sunday. But we'll see. Or started the second half, basically. You know, I think Hatate and Tenecti both may play, but we'll see. Time will tell. As for Rangers, will Tavernier be back in the team after Sterling's error last weekend with the handball? Don't know. Time will tell again. Well, I'm assuming Termiti will start after his confidence of scoring 2 good goals last week. But I'm assuming Rangers might be quite similar in their setup. But only Danny Roll having a word with him and telling him to get a grip of himself and not let that happen again. But I've got a feeling this could be a draw, and then somebody wins in penalties. I think this might go to penalties, and I'll say Rangers will win on penalties. Just with a home advantage and stuff. But you never know. We'll see what happens. It's got all the makings of another very good match at Ibrox on Sunday, so we'll see. Then the last match of the weekend is on Sunday at 7:30, and it's St Mirren against Partick Thistle. This is another very interesting match because St Mirren are struggling in the league, whereas Partick Thistle are doing really well in the league. St Mirren obviously have that one cup under their belt already, so they will be very confident. Partick Thistle are 5 points behind St Johnstone in the Scottish Championship, so they're sitting second at the moment. St Johnstone have took a little bit of a gap there. So Partick Thistle will be focusing on the league as well. But if you're going on the form book, you're thinking that St Mirren may get beat here, and you know, think Partick Thistle may turn up, and I actually think that might happen. I think that Partick Thistle might get a result here. Like I say, they've been doing really well in the league in the last few months, and Mark Wilson's got them playing some fantastic football, making them score goals. They're doing really well. St Mirren are struggling, obviously. Stephen Robinson is still one of the best managers in the league, but you know, they're low in confidence at the moment. They've got no momentum, but they have still got individual players that can cause Partick Thistle problems. Like I say, they've won the cup already, so they know how to do these competitions. They know how to get the victory over the line and stuff like that. So I mean, I fancy Partick Thistle to cause a wee bit of an upset here again. So it could be a couple of upsets in this weekend's Scottish Cup, or I could be totally wrong. At the end of the day, nobody knows. These are very tight matches, I believe. I think at least in one of these matches there will be an upset. But it's exciting to look at. It's exciting to see what could happen. Because cup games are usually very interesting at this point, and it'd be really, really good to see, you know, like I said earlier, it'd be good to see a St Mirren or a Partick as well, one of their kind of fans get to Hampden for a day. Obviously St Mirren have had that, but Partick Thistle, maybe it'd be good for them if they get a wee victory to get a trip into Glasgow, you know, their hometown, to get a wee shot at Hampden for a semi-final. It's been a while, I think, for Partick Thistle. I don't even remember the last time that happened for them. So that would be nice. No disrespect to any St Mirren fans out there, but it would be nice to see a wee bit of change and see Partick Thistle get to the semi-final and have a day out for their fans and play against either Celtic or Rangers in the semi-final, which would be interesting. My ideal scenario would be Partick Thistle Celtic and Falkirk Dunfermline in the semi-finals. I'd really enjoy that. Mark Wilson coming up against his old club and that would be interesting. Obviously the Falkirk and Dunfermline derby would be an interesting semi-final at Hampden. So let me know what you think in the comments and that, guys. And like I said at the start of this video, if you're not subscribed, just hit the subscribe button, please. We're going to try and be making daily videos like this all the time. If there's anything you want us to improve on, or you can think of ideas that you would like to listen to or see us do, just hit it in the comments, man. We don't take anything personally. And we're always up for a wee bit of critique, as long as it's constructive critique. Don't be nasty now, you know what I mean? We're not looking for nastiness. We only want to enjoy the game of football. Anyway, thanks very much for listening.